Can we start recording it up and like
Mahalia.
Send me in when you're ready.
Oh, right. I cut that part out.
No, I'll keep it as a blooper. Blooper number 1.
No. All right, ready? Let me know when you're ready to go.
Do you want to put these away?
No, that's all right.
All good?
Ready to go.
Sweet.
Uh,
Go on, get it.
Yeah,
Go on, get it.
All right, let's go. Let me. So you ready, Karen?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just putting away.
Oh, you don't need that.
Only need it after.
Okay, sweet then. All right, 3, 2, 1. That's for you, Joe. So you got that covered. All right, g'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Go Podcast. We're on episode. What episode are we at now? Probably be 20 something. I don't really know. But today we got Mahalia here today. Thank you for coming in too. I shot you a message and you got back to me. Much appreciated. She's basically a professional rugby player, and we just got to bounce off each other and go from there and talk about how her career came about, and and just shoot off each other from here on then. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. First female, so appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
So we're just talking, I think, off camera just for a bit, talking about rugby, the difference between rugby and rugby league. So what would you say the difference is in playing it, if that makes sense? And then we'll get on to all the other backstories, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think we like rugby league. Your contact's so much more direct. Whereas in rugby, like you've got a job after you're tackling.
Yep.
So like when you're tackling in rugby, you got a job to either try and clean out other people or try and pilfer the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas league, like you got to make a hit and then that's it. You know, once they're down, you got to get up and slow the ball, and let them play there. So I think rugby's a lot more continuous.
Yeah.
So I think like rugby's just like non-stop. Like keep going. You always got something to do.
Yeah.
The kicking game as well is a big difference. The fitness as well. You know, in league, you got to get back 10 meters every time, whereas rugby, you just got to stand at last feet.
Yeah.
You don't have to retreat.
Yeah. No, it's bad. So where did it all start? Let's go back to the start. So where did it all start for you? So you grew up in Doorside, obviously we talked offline and stuff like that. When did you start playing rugby, or was it leagues first you started, or was it rugby union?
Yeah, so I played my first ever league season when I was around, I think 9, just before we had to stop because we were female. Yeah.
You have to stop.
You had to stop at a certain time because you're a girl.
No way.
Yeah.
So,
didn't know that?
Nah.
And then you have to start back up around like 16, 17.
Why? Was it because not much girls play at that time, or what's the
no,
reason
I think it was
that?
just more because I know like the difference between females and males, like body development, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
so that's pretty much what happened. I had half a season when I was about 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Then I stopped, and then I was doing more athletics growing up.
Okay.
So I did more athletics, and then once I finished high school, I moved away down South Coast studying policing, and then my older sister used to play rugby 15s for Penrith.
Yeah.
And I used to come up on the weekends. I used to catch a train up on a Saturday, on a Friday night, and then I'd watch my sister play on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I used to run the water for the girls.
Bad.
And I didn't know how to play, but a lot of the girls didn't come to the game, so they had low numbers. And then they asked Mum if I could come on the field for at least like 10, 15 minutes just to help the girls out.
Yeah.
And Mum was like, no way, like, no, like I don't want her to get injured because, you know, she does athletics, and if she breaks her foot or her leg or arm, you know, she won't be able to run properly. So she was just being that pedantic mum.
Yeah.
And then second half came, and then, the girls were like buggered us. So the coach looked at Mum and said, please, even if it's just 10 minutes, 5 minutes of the second half. So Mum was like, all right, chuck her on then.
And that was for the Duty Roos, was it?
Oh, this is Penrith.
Oh, Penrith. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Penrith Sheamus, they were called at the time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was connecting that to the rep team Penrith, but it was just a normal club. Like,
just Penrith Sheamus,
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, I jumped on. I didn't know how to play it, didn't know the rules. I just knew from watching my older sister, you catch a ball, run, score it over the white paint. So that was my kind of go with plan. So I jumped on, they put me on the wing, and then, the ball came towards me, and I got real nervous because I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to get tackled. And I had about, like 5 to 10 meters of space to run in, and I tiptoed all the way along the sideline because I was like, I'm not getting tackled. And then I just sprinted along the sideline, got my first try, and then it was from that moment I was like, I love this game.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. So then that's how it started.
So that's how it started. So you and your sister, did you guys end up playing together when you got older, or was it just...
So once I finished my policing, I came back and then played rugby.
Okay, so what, you're not? Are you policing now, or is it because of footy at the moment? You're not.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing policing.
Oh, okay.
So I end up graduating, and then rugby just took over.
Oh yeah, but policing can come back anytime.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that's something new. Eh? But so with rugby and stuff. So you found out that was rugby league or union? Union. And when did you have that transfer? When did you transfer to league? Like when did that come about? Or was that more of a later time?
Yeah. Also, pretty much when I came back from studying, I was playing league and union on the weekends.
Yeah.
League was on the Sunday, union was on Saturday, and then that's pretty much how it happened. And then I got picked up from playing in the career knockout to play for the All Stars, the Indigenous All Stars, and then the team that we played, the Australian All Stars, their coach was the Australian Jillaroos coach.
Okay.
So that's how I kind of got connected with him. And then I got invited to their camp that year in 2015, and then made my debut against the New Zealand team, and we played up in Queensland at Suncorp 2015, and we beat them.
Shit. So you went from that, some Penrith, like playing for Penrith Juniors, all the way up to basically Indigenous knockout, and then you got selected from there on.
Yeah,
must be a big thing, that Indigenous knockout. I've never seen it, but apparently what is it called? The competition is called a career knockout. Career knockout.
Yeah,
is that like quite big? Because
it's mad.
Fafita and all those boys, all the boys play. Is it pretty hectic?
Honestly, it's like one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It is. Like if you go there, like it's just raw footy. Like it's just, and it's like, you got people from the country coming as well. So you got all these people that are just, whacking each other, and just the technique side of things isn't really as like,
Oh, well, I know what you're saying.
on point, but it's just like get them down. However, like whack them, run it straight. Like
it's definitely entertaining. Eh?
Yeah, it's good to watch and it's good to play in.
So females have a competition there now too.
Yeah.
So I thought it was only men at one stage. Or when did the females start to come into that play?
I first played probably back in 2013, 14.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while.
Yeah, they've been in the game for a while.
But you have a lot of celebrities there too. Like you have a lot of NRL. Can NRL players play that, or do you have to be retired?
No, they can. They can. They even like last couple of years. They have, but they don't really. There's only a couple of them that really do.
Yeah.
That do play. A lot of them just go there and watch, but a couple of them join.
Where's that competition, at Dubbo or something like that?
It moves around. So whoever wins the grand final, they pretty much move around and choose their selection, like of where they're located.
Nice.
The next year.
So okay. So we go back to, so you started at Penrith. You started at Penrith Juniors with your sister and stuff. And that's how you first came about of it. When did you say then? That was probably how young was that?
That was in 2013.
2013, and then after that, so when did you sort of skyrocket to be a professional with that? So when did that sort of come about, if that makes sense?
Well, I started.
When did you start actually? Sorry, I'll re-question that. When did you start to realize that I could make a career out of this? When did that sort of come about?
Well, when I got selected for New South Wales.
Yeah.
So we played at nationals, for sevens. It was sevens though. So we had a sevens Penrith team. From the 15 squad that went into play sevens. So then we got selected to play in that comp, and then I got selected for the New South Wales sevens team.
Oh, okay.
Even though we were a 15 squad, we just got whoever wanted to play sevens to join. Yeah. And then once I got chosen to go into New South Wales, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is playing for this state. So pretty much from there. But it was actually like when I first joined like Penrith training like club team, the coach showed me a video of the Aussie Sevens team, and she was like, you're going to make this team one day. And I didn't know who they were. I'd never seen them in my life. And then I was just watching this clip of these girls just running so fast, throwing the ball 15, 20 meters. And I was like, like, that's cool. Like, I'd want to be that, I want to be part of that team. So I pretty much like from that moment was like, that'd be cool.
That's mad. So from 2000, that was from you got shown that clip from 2013.
Sorry, I'm going to cough.
No, it's all right. Go for it. Hey, Joe, are these cameras like, microphones, are they like, are they good volume? They're not phasing off, yeah? No. Okay, sweet, all good.
Oh, jeez.
You all right? You got your jabs?
Yes, I did. I got my second one last Saturday, mate. You want to feel third jab?
No. You got your was it Corona certificate?
You want to see proof? You'll see it.
Don't worry about my one. No, but yeah.
What were we at?
So we're at like, so when did you, so 2013, that's when you sort of made the Waratahs team, the sevens or something like that?
Well, we were playing, so we went to nationals and played for New South Wales, and then pretty much from there I was like, maybe I should try and strive and play for Australia. So
okay, so you went to policing training, and then you came back, and then sort of football took over. Yeah. And that's how it worked out from there. Okay, so the training for the policing, that's all finished. Like that's done.
I graduated.
You graduated and stuff. So you can always go back to that role.
Yeah.
Anytime after. Well, that's mad. It's pretty heaps good. That's heaps good. And then now, so it's just basically kicking on with this football. So I've seen on your post too that you had highlights on like Waratahs. I think it was Waratahs highlights, but then you also, I saw you with St. George. So when did St. George come about? Like,
so I was.
Mind you, my dad goes to St. George, so
really? Poor him. Nah, thanks.
Yeah, I know. I tell him everything. I tell him every day. So yeah.
So I was playing 7s and 15s that year, and then until
2013, or was that when was that?
that was last year.
Oh, last year. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I was playing a bit of 15s and for Waratahs.
Yep.
And then our matches and stuff got cancelled because of COVID.
Yep.
And then the coach pretty much just said, like, we'd rather you play something than nothing.
Yep.
And that was pretty much the only thing that we had going. So
Wow.
they offered, I got offered to play earlier in the year, but then we were playing, so we weren't allowed to. And then once COVID kicked in, they were like, all right, we'd rather you play some type of game than play nothing. So
yeah,
St. George hit me up and then signed my contract and then played.
That's mad. So what was the experience? So you played rugby your whole life. So what was the experience with league in St. George?
It was mad. It was good. Like I knew a few of the girls from when I played Gillaroos. So
yeah.
It was just good because it had been years since I played league.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play league since 2015.
Wow.
And then up until last year. So, it was just so good because like, especially my first year playing union, like I struggled to, like, knowing the fact that I wasn't allowed to play league because I signed a contract. Like I really struggled with that because I just came off like a high from playing Gillaroos and then playing, Indigenous All-Stars, not, that one time of the year where it came around to crew knockout, I couldn't play.
Yeah.
And that was, like I said, like it's one of my favorite comps of the year. So like to not be able to play, I was like struggling really hard for a good couple of years.
Yeah.
So then to be able to play league again and play with the girls that I hadn't played with for years was just, it was great.
Yeah, no, it's
awesome.
Mad.
And like to be part of the NRLW.
Yeah.
Like that's massive as well.
So you guys didn't go to Queensland though, did you? It's like, so when the COVID thing happened with the rugby league, the women's league didn't get up there. So what was happening that?
The girls had to come down. So they came down. Like Brisbane came down.
Yeah.
Like the Broncos girls came down and then pretty much just played all around like Canberra and Sydney.
And even through that COVID period, like you guys are still kicking on playing?
So we played in September last year.
Oh,
September,
nice.
October.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So did you learn anything from it, or was it a different sort of, what's the professionalism like? So we got, you got union, got rugby league, so as one knows. So what's the difference in training stuff? Like is it all quite similar, like sort of similar structure?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Like I said, like the only thing that's pretty much different is like the ruck stuff.
Yeah.
Retreating back in defence.
But you still got like structure, like you still got your forwards with your forwards.
You still got your forwards and backs, yeah.
So sort of drills, similar type things.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything from league coming back from it, or did you realize, was it a faster pace, or back from when you used to
it was
play?
definitely I felt like it was definitely a faster pace, like having to get back 10 meters, getting up off the line, and then I was playing like all different types of positions as well. Like I came back. Normally I'm a fullback when I played league.
Yeah.
I came back to St. George and I was playing second row. I was playing 5'8". So like I came in and playing, backup fullback as well. So and because I was like a late person like into the squad because of COVID, I pretty much just I was like the person that kind of came in and backed up if anyone needed. But I came off the bench.
Yeah.
Pretty much every game. And
do you guys have this? So like with New South Wales State of Origin, that's a rep comp for the women. So did you get asked to come on that, or did you join too later after that? Was it too late?
No, the only time I played State of Origin for league was when I played in 2015.
Oh, 2015.
Yeah, so I played that State of Origin, and I had signed my contract for sevens just before that as well. But like I said to them, I was like, I've been selected to play State of Origin. Like, can I play? And they said, yeah, well, you've already agreed to play that before you sign your contract, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So they allowed me, and because I was like new into the squad as well, they were like, yeah, it's all right. And we were prepping for Rio Olympics at that time, so.
Did you guys go? You
Rio, the girls won gold. I didn't go there because I was pretty fresh to the team.
Yeah. Spilling.
Yeah.
Just being in the squad, like. Why didn't you get to go? Like, what was the go then? If you're in the squad, they only can take it extra?
They can only take 12. So at the time, we had like maybe, I think there might have been around 21, 22 girls in the squad.
Spilling.
Yeah. And then only 12 got selected.
And they got gold, didn't they?
Yeah.
And did they beat was that the time they beat New Zealand? Was that?
Yeah.
Yes, they grand final. I remember that one.
Yeah.
I think vaguely, but yeah.
Yeah.
Was there an Olympic? Well, the Olympics just passed. What was that one?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Was there a Tokyo team or?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, no, I didn't go. I'm not playing sevens anymore. So I'm not playing with Aussie sevens anymore.
Yeah.
So I stopped with them, I think last year, February.
But can't you, if you're playing like 15s, can't they just pick the best 15s, or is there a dedicated sevens team just for the whole year or something like that?
Well, sevens is a bit different. Like so sevens has got, I think now they've got probably around like maybe 15 to 18 girls so contracted.
Okay.
So they've got certain amount of girls contracted.
Yeah.
15s has like a whole squad of like 30 something. So
because I was thinking in my head, sorry, I was just thinking in my head that like the women's comp, the sevens, they'll pick the best from the 15s teams, like from Waratahs, Reds,
Oh, no.
and then they'll just combine them and go, look, we like what you got. You got to train for like the next 3 months for the next Olympics, and then go from there. So they actually have a dedicated team
yeah, or
specifically for
they
sevens.
have a couple of the girls as well, like coming through like in development training.
Yeah.
From 15. So when I was with sevens, like I was one of like 3 girls that was allowed to play both.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, you know, but depending on what time of the season it was, is like if it wasn't like an Olympics or if it was Commonwealth Games or World Cup or whatever, like I'd be more sevens. But if it was just like a season of playing sevens, like World Series stuff, like they'd probably allow me in between like the tournaments to go and play 15s.
Go and play Vegas and see all the comps where the sevens go. They go to Vegas.
Yeah.
They go around the world as if you want to.
Yeah.
I think you get more world trips in the sevens squad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Even the competition.
Internationally, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like 15s, like you get together for like Wallaroos, you'll probably get together like twice a year for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
It's not a full-time program, unfortunately, but sevens is like you can. It's a job, so you go there every day, train, and then travel the world, and play.
Hectic.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good lifestyle. It's tough. It's very tough.
Sevens compared to 15s.
Oh yeah, like it's tough. Like fitness wise, like
true.
it's very demanding. You know, on your body and commitment wise and stuff like that. Like to go rock up and train sevens every day.
Well, you're still young, so you'll be all right.
Oh, that's what you say. No, you go do it tomorrow morning. You let me know. All right, I'll tell the coach to go. Sign him up. Sign up. He reckons it's easy. Light work, he says.
No. But so you played what, one season with the sevens? That when you got selected with them?
No. So I was contracted from 2015 up until 2020.
Oh, whoa! For the sevens team.
Yeah.
So so you went to Vegas? You played in all those comps. How was that like?
Oh, it was unreal.
Right,
like it's just like I said, like sevens training is really hard, but like when you get to go and travel the world, represent your country and experience
100%.
other countries and cultures, it's just
it's
so well worth it.
What was the highlight? Was the highlight in your sevens part in the last 5 years? Traveling. Which country was probably the best one to play at? If that makes sense.
Probably the best one to play at was Dubai.
Oh.
Yeah, like it was really hot, but the crowd, like the atmosphere was amazing. Like, and it was like the men's played there as well. So you know, the crowd was unreal. It was obviously really hot, but like, the atmosphere at Dubai Sevens was probably the best out of all.
Yeah.
But my favorite place to go to is Fiji.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only because
in sevens, like when
just like the whole environment, the environment. Yeah, just like everyone's just so lovely. It's just beautiful, peaceful.
Yeah.
Humble people.
Yeah.
You know, culture, which is really important to me. Just experience like that kind of.
That's mad.
Yeah. I love Fiji.
When I went to Fiji, it was a bit like that. It's just so similar thing,
Chill.
a bit laid back.
Yeah.
No one's really in a hurry.
Yeah.
It's all Fiji in time, but I think, So when you went to Vegas, so you had 5 years of like the sevens comp, man. So you would have saw the Fijian, you would have bumped into the Fijian men's team. Yeah. How were they like in real life? That were like I went and watched, I think 2000. I think when they were at Sydney cricket ground. You know when the sevens came into Sydney. I forget what year it was. I went with my brothers and stuff and my cousins, and we watched that. And that's when the Fiji won it. I forget what year it was, but it was the best experience. Like seeing them do their thing. How do you train against teams like that though? Was the Fijian women's team? Is there a Fijian women's team?
Yeah.
Are they similar to the men's or?
Well, they got gold in Tokyo. Gold. They got bronze. Sorry. In Tokyo this year. So
wow. That
was just massive for them because like the last couple of seasons, like they've been, you know, they weren't as fit.
Yeah.
They weren't really as experienced. Like, you know, like they didn't really have a full-time program over there. So they'd probably, you know, get together prior to like tour and then like go and play. So, I think leading into Tokyo, they had like this really massive like training camps and they were getting smashed. And you could just see the difference, like, you know, from the last couple of years till now, how much fitter, faster and stronger they are. Like, they've always been very physical, but their fitness had been like something that they lacked on. But they got bronze in the Olympics, which is like massive. Yeah,
well, you say that, but then you look at the Fiji men's team, it's just like, how do you even train against teams like that? Like, is there obviously men's are a sort of different thing, but if you look at the Fijian team, like, how would you train against teams like that? Like, they're just all flick balls and passes.
It's hard. Yeah, it's very unpredictable. Like they don't really have a structure.
They're doing passes here, but then the ball ends up the other way.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they have a really Yeah, like it's hard to defend against them because you never know what they're going to do.
Is
Like,
there
you're never going to know if they're going to offload, but they're also big humans, so you don't want to like fall for their dummies and then
yeah?
try and tackle this unit that's just running through. But
Is there equivalent women's team you can say who would be closer to them in the men's version? Like, would you say like the New Zealand team or your team, or Aussie team? Would you say there's sort of like a team where in the women's league where there's sort of similarities with the Fiji and rugby like sevens team, or like they're
um,
sort of unpredictable? Which is the most challenging team actually in the women's league? If you had to put it, was it you guys or New Zealand or
I think the last couple of years just New Zealand. Like
New Zealand?
yeah, there's just been like they've been at the top for a while now.
Wow. I thought it was you guys actually. I thought
Nah, so no, not for the last couple of years, not
Yeah.
for the last like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
The girls have New Zealand's been on top. So, but it's been like since Rio Olympics,
Yeah.
like every other team's just gotten so much better. Like
which is a good thing.
yeah, 100%. It's
Yeah.
making it way more competitive. But like, back in Rio, like our team, was very highly skilled. All the other teams pretty much were like building to
Yeah,
like get
yeah,
to
I
where we were,
noticed.
and we were the ones that were like, we got to get for go for them. So we were the ones that were getting hunted. So
Yeah.
every other team just got so much better over the last couple of years, and then now every team it's really hard. Like it matters how you rock up and
Yeah.
play, because no matter who you're playing these days, it's like whoever's going to go out there and play the better footy is going to win, because it's like
Yeah.
you can't be like all right, Fiji's like unfit, we just got to do this and beat them.
Yeah.
But now they're just so much fitter. They've covered pretty much fitness, strength, speed, agility now. So,
Yeah. So what about the South African teams? You like?
South Africa is not really like, they're kind of
No.
like invitational team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they will come around on tour here and there, but they're not really.
Is Tonga, Samoa got a team in the team or?
They do have teams, but they don't really play. They don't play World Series.
Oh, okay.
So they play like more like Pacific game stuff.
Yes.
So like over in Papua New Guinea in 2015,
Yep.
when we played there, they came along.
Yep.
And then same thing like in Fiji, so the Oceania Sevens.
Yep.
So they'll come there and play there. But they don't really play like World Series.
I think personally, I'm just throwing it out there. I think if you make an Indigenous team, just Indigenous background, I'm telling you now, I wouldn't be surprised in sevens. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be a gold medal team. Like I don't know, genetically, like freaks, like if you look at them, just athletic abilities, if it was just them, like it's like the All-Stars team, like when you see them versus the Maldives, like the NRL and stuff. I think if you just have an Aboriginal team in the sevens, just representing the Aboriginals, I think you will have I think a lot of teams will be a bit worried in a sense, just because it's more their style, like a bit more running, a bit more fitness, a bit more like footwork and stuff. But yeah, because it's just like, I just see a lot of talent in that department.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got like just so much raw talent.
Raw talent.
Raw
Like
talent.
I don't think it's trained. I think they're just like Fiji. It falls under like Fiji.
Just natural.
Just like instinct. I think that when the ball's in hand and stuff like that. But yeah, so we covered. So you played sevens for like 5 years. You were contracting the team. So in between that, you were playing you were in the 15s comp.
Yeah.
So then I saw on your post, one of your posts, that you won the championships, and that was 2000 and the championship. I think it was Waratahs.
For Waratahs?
Yeah, for Waratahs.
So we've won the last 4 years straight.
Straight.
Yeah. So
No competition.
it's only been for like 4 years since that comp started.
Yeah.
And
you guys have been smashing it for 4 years.
undefeated.
Do you guys train with the men's? Because I got my cousin who plays for the Waratahs.
Well, they trained before us. Yeah.
so
we train at the same spot, but
Yeah.
just different times.
Oh, nice. Big boys, eh?
Oh, big units for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
so,
are.
so you use the same facilities, all that stuff. So you train at the same area and stuff. Where's that at? Is that like
Daceyville.
Daceyville?
So like in towards like Kingsford, Maroubra.
Oh, okay.
Going that way, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So, but the men's Waratahs team a bit struggling at the moment. Would you say this is like last season, like this year?
Yeah, they have been. They haven't really been as strong. Yeah.
As what they used to be. So you didn't have to work. So you've been playing rugby with yourself. You don't have to work any time. Like you don't have to have a part-time job. You can just basically play rugby as a professional at the moment.
Yeah.
Or?
So with sevens, when I was with sevens, like you train 4 days a week.
Yeah.
You train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And you'd be there all day. Like that'd pretty much be your whole day of work. And then Thursdays was like our recovery day. So girls that would study or work extra jobs would either use that Thursday to study or work or just relax.
Yeah.
And same thing on the weekend. So Shani, who was the captain, she'd be like working as a mechanic.
Yeah. Nice.
Couple of one of the other girls was a physio, so she'd help out doing physio. I was even still now, like working in schools.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
working with schools and communities and stuff like that with kids.
Yeah. Do inside high or do inside tech or?
No. So I work with Anthony Minicello.
Anthony Machado. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has like a minifit program that he
Oh,
runs,
man.
like programs that he runs in schools.
Yeah.
So I help him out, and yeah,
That's heaps good. So he's running like he's doing that after footy type thing. Like,
yeah,
That's heaps good.
I'm gonna call.
Sure they got corona?
You're gonna cut this, right?
Yeah, no, we're gonna cut it. We're not. It's just raw, mate. It's just.
No, I think it's because last night, you know, when you're like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
throat.
No, it's all good.
Literally.
Do you need something? You want water? You
No,
want water?
it's
You sure? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna get water for you. We can cut this off, AJ. Nah, I'm fine. Give me about 2 minutes.
2 and counting. Get your wings in ya.
Yeah.
Red Bull wings.
Not formally sponsored.
Oh, not yet. Nah.
Well, Red Bull's sponsored anything these days.
Yeah. I definitely do not have corona.
Nah, you're alright. We all vaccinated here, so. Hey,
Thank you.
Jared. Jared had to get it done for work, eh? Work purposes.
I work in the city.
What do you do?
Electrical wholesale.
Oh,
So pretty much like see everything that's inside this house, like
You-
know,
you set all
lights,
that up.
switches,
He sells all that.
damn.
fitting houses.
Thank you. Thank
Better? Feeling better?
you.
You feeling good?
Oh, thanks.
Coronavirus? No.
Kidding.
So I think on this mic because it keeps slipping. Jared, mate, this keeps slipping, mate.
We've been having problems with that one.
Yeah, I know. I gotta change the mic. There you go.
It's actually just, I think it's the handle to it because
Yeah.
it's looser than your one.
Oh yeah, it is too, eh? But yeah. So how was your night last night?
Well,
No.
no, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I hadn't been out in so long, so
I know, like, bro. I went out there a couple. I think last week. Dead. Like compared to back in the day when I used to go out,
it's dead.
it's not the same.
Nah,
it's not. The
it's
same.
dead.
King's Cross, not the same.
I haven't
seriously.
been there in
Yeah,
ages.
no, because like back in the day, I was explaining to a couple of my mates. Actually, we're talking about Thursday. Like back in the day when we used to like go out. I'm talking about a couple of years back, but it was packed. The city was packed. Like the streets of King's Cross was like you couldn't walk that much. And then you go into George Street before the trams came on. Man, every club was like, you know, there was things to do. It was definitely lit up as a city, but now you can. It's just a ghost town. Like it's not as busy as it used to be. I don't know what happened. I don't think clubbing is as big as what it used to be once upon a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, got off topic. But yeah. So so back to the Warrior side. So you had only that one sting with St. George. So that's the only. Have they offered you any extensions, or have they given you an option? Say, look, if you want an opportunity here.
Yeah. So the coach last year asked if I could come back. And then I was like, oh, I'll have to see because we were originally supposed to have a World Cup this year. And then because COVID, they postponed it till next year. So
you want to stick it out.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you know, like we've got World Cup next year, so I don't know if we'll be allowed, but.
Well, can't you play for it? Like say next year actually. So yeah, you're trading up. I was thinking that we're still in the beginning of this year. So this off season would determine, and then you play next year. Then in the next year, I'm assuming that's when the World Cup rugby tournament will be for you guys.
Yeah.
Or?
September next year.
So if you play for a rugby league team, that sort of rules you out to be selected, or
it wouldn't really rule you out, but it'll just kind of like
some
lessen your chances of getting in because
some young gun will come out and if they pop,
and they're like not even just that, but just like commitment wise, if you're not being committed to 15s and then investing into that leading into the World Cup, like you're not really putting your best foot forward because you're investing into another game.
Yeah, true.
So it's tough. Like you got to make those calls, but.
Who pays more?
Well, let me tell you.
No. But yeah, so did you get a lot of offers after St. League? Did anyone offer you besides St. George? Or
so
surely there will be a lot of scouts out there, especially seeing your highlights on Instagram. Guys, check her out on Instagram. You'll see her highlights. It's basically Greg Inglis in a female version. But anyways, no.
Yeah, I'll claim that.
No,
I'll claim that.
100% take it.
So Roosters asked me,
Oh, yeah.
and they've got Knights now. Newcastle Knights are in the comp.
Okay. So not every NRL team have a women's.
No. So
Oh,
originally
shit.
there was only Warriors, Broncos, St. George, Roosters.
Oh, no wonder I always kept seeing Broncos and freaking Roosters in the grand final.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
there was only like 4 teams. So then
Oh, wow.
this year, I think because of COVID, they were like, oh, we don't want to have Warriors because like if it's international players, like we don't want to,
Yeah.
risk them not being able to be over here or like them being like stuck here. So they made, there's Titans, Broncos, Roosters, Knights, Para, and
Para.
Dragons this year.
Oh, yeah. So Para be a local one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Penrith, but anyways. No,
Yeah, they're not in the comp.
they're not in the
Sorry.
Well, who you go for
Sorry.
anyway?
No, I go for Rabbits. But
you go for
anyways,
Rabbits? Oh, yeah.
yeah.
My cousin plays for Rabbits. Shout out to Junior, to Tola. Shout out to Junior. Got to get you on here, bro. So answer those messages.
Yeah.
But yes, nice. So Rabbits, eh? So what about this year? See what happened in the grand final.
Well, I'll tell you after this when we finish the podcast.
No, but yeah. So I didn't even know that there was that much NRL girls team. I thought it was like a full comp.
Nah.
Oh, no one. Oh,
No.
sucks.
Yeah,
So you're basically versing Roosters and like Broncos like 4 or 5 times a year then. Surely, because if
Nah, they literally last year we only played each other once.
then how do you have that with that? Oh, because your
'Cause-
comp starts later, doesn't it?
Normally it's a longer season, but
Yeah,
because of COVID, it was like pretty much just like play everyone once and then boom final.
yeah. Do you see yourself in like obviously you're in a position where you're a professional athlete, but do you see yourself like being a what do you call them? Those reporters in the commentary box? Would you
look-
say that could be a career path, or would you?
I've
Because
done a couple of gigs,
Yeah.
but I feel like I wouldn't see myself
No, you
in a
want to see
commentary
yourself,
box. No,
because that'd be sort of a good career path, especially for a lot of
it
players.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's made for some, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't feel like it's made for me.
No,
So,
that's all right. Well, you
yeah,
can be a
not
police
me.
officer afterwards. So.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's
Well,
nice.
yeah, with policing, like I wanted to do more community work, like a liaison officer. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The reason why I didn't follow through mainly was because when I was studying, the police officer that I was working with was saying that, like, if I was to go through the academy,
Yep.
it'd be a lot more commitment and paperwork stuff rather than if I was to go and do like liaising, officer, like community wise
Yep.
outside of the academy,
Yep.
which is another avenue I could have done.
Yeah.
It won't be as demanding, like won't be as like you won't.
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could still do community work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like you're in the office, for 12 hours doing paperwork.
And that's where you see yourself sort of after footy
Yeah.
type thing? Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do in the first place was like
Yeah.
be working with communities.
So technically, like you didn't really, it wasn't your dream to be a professional rugby player.
No.
Usually as a kid, as a 60-year-old kid, I want to be an NRL player type thing. That wasn't
No.
your, so probably what you're doing, like, liaison officer stuff, that was more the career you sort of seeing yourself doing, or was there other things?
When I was 16, it was more sprinting, like athletics, because I was a sprinter. And then, once I finished high school and then moved away, because I was doing, obviously, that studying policing and then training athletics as well outside of that.
Yeah.
And then that's when I had my first little crack at rugby, and then I was like, oh, I love this game. And I think it was just more like the team environment that really got me, because obviously in athletics, it's like you versus everyone else.
Yeah.
Whereas rugby, you got 14 other girls in the field with you, and you get to go training with other girls rather than just going training with you and your coach.
Yeah.
So I love that team environment aspect
Yeah.
of rugby. So that's what really drew me to play rugby.
That's
so
mad.
that's when I transitioned over to rugby and stuck with it.
Stuck with it, and you ended up doing that as a full-time gig for a couple of years. And that's still your gig too now. So how long do you reckon you got in that? Is that sort of lane, you reckon? For another 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd feel well, in saying that we've got like a 30-something-year-old in our Waratahs team that's still killing it. And she's like the fittest girl in our team. So
Yeah, you're
I'd like to think I've got another 10 years, but my body says I've got about 5. So
I know what you're saying. I know.
yeah.
Nah, yeah. So what? So we'll keep the record straight. So you prefer rugby than league? No.
Well, look, I've been asked this question
Different.
many times.
Yeah.
First couple of years, I was always like, nah, league, because I used to love
Okay.
league. I used to support league. I used to watch league a lot more than I did with rugby.
Yeah.
And I was more of a, like, even our family was more like leagues.
Yeah.
So that was what I used to always say. But then when I learnt the game of rugby, like I love the fact that you can contest with the ball so much more. What?
No,
What?
I don't know.
What?
Mate, because I hate it.
Wait, like we said before,
Yeah.
this lack of knowledge of the game.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think it's different. It's definitely different. But yeah.
No, I love rugby because like I said, like you can contest with the ball so much more.
Yeah.
It's just more like flowing. It's more flowing.
But when you're kicking like back and forth and your fullbacks are marking.
Yeah, but how often does that really happen?
Oh, in a men's game it probably happens quite a bit.
Yeah. But
then,
in the women's, it's not as much.
Yeah, it's
but not
different.
even. I think I just love the fact that, you can contest with the ball. So like you don't even have to. It doesn't have to be a 1-on-1 for a strip. You can steal at the rucks.
Yeah.
You can blow people over the ruck and then try and take the ball. Like whereas in league, once you get tackled, it's their possession. Like that, you can't do anything.
So would you say it's more physical in league and a bit more structure-ish in union? Would you say that?
Like league, like the contact is more direct.
Yeah.
Whereas rugby's like just get them down however you can get them down kind of thing.
I'm happy you said that because I feel like in rugby you can't commit to tackles.
No.
As
much as you can in league because like that you in league you just got to make a tackle and then you slow the ruck down and get up and play the ball. Whereas rugby it's like just get them down as much like as fast as you can and then next job is your sealers. Blow them off the ruck, and then you can try and go for the ball. So that's what I love about rugby. Like you can, like it's a contest all the time in every ruck. Yet whereas in league you get tackled, it's like all right, they got the ball still. Next phase. So you don't really get that opportunity to steal the ball off as much. So that's what I love about rugby.
Yeah.
And
you got preseason next week coming up, bro.
Yeah.
So did you do a preseason with St. George or no?
Yeah, we had like a bit of we did do a bit of fitness and stuff prior to playing.
Would you say they're similar or different sort of structure?
Oh, I think it's like their fitness blocks are different, like compared to rugby stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like in saying that like sevens is really intense. Like sevens is probably the most intense kind of fitness I've ever done in my life. Like, but I felt like league wasn't as intense as sevens, but compared to like league and 15s, I felt like league was more intense than 15s.
Okay.
The blocks that we did anyways, like we did a lot more like conditioning in the league stuff. Yeah. Like long distance stuff as well.
And so and who's any famous people you play with, like women's who are like any ones who are known in that, like who's that commentator, the Sims brother sister?
Ruan.
Yeah, is that her name?
So
did you play against her at once? Oh no, she retired last year, didn't she?
Yeah, so we played together.
Oh, okay.
We played together for Gillaroos and State of Origin.
Yep.
And then
she's tough. She looks pretty tough.
Yeah. She's a pretty solid carrier.
Yeah.
She's solid.
She's solid, eh?
Yeah.
See a couple of her highlights too because they show it before, like some of the men's comp. She's pretty solid.
Yeah. She's a good carrier, ball carrier.
And who would you say is the best? Oh no, wait a minute. Sorry, who's that Fijian girl who played? I think she's sevens. I think she's
Elia.
Yes, she's pretty good in her own right, isn't she? Or is she one of the best? Or
she's one of the hardest people to tackle.
Okay,
she's just built like a brick. Obviously, it's like you got trying to tackle Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Like you got
at 100 miles an hour,
literally. Like, and she's so fast.
Yeah,
she's so strong. Like, it's just like hard to like tackle her.
She's roughly about your age now, wouldn't she be? Or
she's a bit older.
She's a bit older. Yeah, thought so. Because she's been in the picture for a while now, hasn't she? Yeah. So, who would you say is the best player you played next to, or the most player who made you sort of be a better player type thing? Like, if you can put it that way. Or would they all play a role?
They all do play a role.
In some sort of section. Yeah. Have you ever got like have you ever like rocked up to games and feel like, oh fuck, I just don't feel like playing today, or you sort of, it's always good team environment, good vibes, if that makes sense?
I've never felt like, oh, I don't want to play. But you do go through those phases where it's like, oh, my body's sore. Like, especially in sevens, like you play 3 games one day and then the next day you play another 3. So it's like, so you go this day 2, everyone's sore, everyone's tired. And then you got to go and play another 3 games. And you know that sevens games ain't like, 15. So you're in like almost every second ruck. So it's very intense. Whereas 15s, like you let your forwards do their bit, you can chill for a bit, and then backline will take their part when it's needed. But so like there's been times where you're like, oh God, my body's sore. and you get your nerves, which is good. Like I always say, nerves are good because you want to do well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never had a time where I'm like, I don't want to play.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So
really feel like
well,
playing.
that's good. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It means you're still motivated to actually
Yeah.
keep on what you're doing. So yeah, so that felt about so that came around when you play rugby and stuff like that. So in saying that, so what's so after we talked a bit about it, like after rugby and stuff, what you want to do and stuff like administration work, or was it different, like community work? Sorry. So we talked about that stuff. Like these, can you do that on the? Remember how we talked about Thursdays and a couple of days you have off? Do you do that on the side or?
Oh, now that I'm not with Sevens,
Yeah,
and
no.
I'm with the Waratahs and
is that-
Wallaroos.
Yeah.
I can work. So we
Oh, you
train in
can.
the evening. So we train from like 5:30.
Yeah.
Up until around 8:30.
Yep.
So that's when like with like Anthony Mincello, like I'll work
Okay.
from like 8 in the morning till 3:30, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like school hours. So
Yeah.
I was doing a bit of that, but yeah, because of COVID, like we had to wait for schools to go back.
Yeah.
So I'd been doing a bit of labouring.
Yeah. No, I think I seen it in your stories. I thought you were just taking a piss.
No,
I thought you were
I was
just helping
doing
your
labouring,
mate.
man. That's something else. That job there. I would never retire from rugby and become a labourer. That's for sure. Make that very clear. That is very hard work, and my appreciation levels for labourers has gone through the roof.
No, because I see you doing. I thought, oh, you're just helping your mate in the backyard. I thought, oh, you're just taking a piss. Cop.
No, that's what I was doing. I was helping a mate. It was meant to be one day. It's been a month. It's been a month. So, but it's cool. Like I would never retire and become that,
that type of worker.
Definitely not. But it's very interesting as well
Yeah.
because I've been doing a bit of demolition. I've
Yeah,
been doing a bit of
that's
building,
mad.
doing
Yeah.
a bit of landscaping. So I'm like learning different things, and especially with the landscaping stuff, it's like where we're working, like there's no excavator that can fit in there. So like you have to dig with a shovel,
Better worse.
and then we had to put like an ag pipe in. So like we had to dig
Yeah.
certain, but we're getting to the point now where we're putting all the little stepping stones in, putting plants in. So it's like all the, nitty gritty stuff.
You're going downhill now, so it's all downhill. All the hard work's done, and now it's
Yeah.
just downhill
So
from there.
it's actually interesting and to like learn something new.
Yeah, it sounds like you sort of have an idea too, like talking about the pipes and talking about, having
Yeah.
different appreciation
Yeah,
too is always a good
For
thing.
sure. Because like even at club training and stuff,
Yeah.
like you got, boys and, that come to training and they're in their high vis still from work. And I'm just like, man,
How do you do
now I'm
it?
like, how do you do it? Like my
It's-
back is broken. And like all I want to do after work is
Yeah.
go home and like no one talk to me. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And
Is that
to think-
intense? Was that intense?
Oh, yeah, man.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it is.
I mind you, but I've been doing labour work, I think, for a while, so I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe
your
it's-
body's conditioned. It's a different type of fitness for
yes.
me.
But it's like me going to sevens
Rugby,
training and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. Like,
What? Sevens what?
No. But yeah, but it's also,
It's just different because like I've got a bad back as well.
oh no.
So my lower back's really bad. So like
For rugby or
Yeah.
just, okay.
from an injury that I had. But like it's tough work because like I'm carrying like bloody 25 kilo,
Did I treat
25
did I
kilos
treat you
cement
different or
bags,
was it like, nah, bro?
sandbags.
Did I treat you different or was it like, nah, bro, you're just a worker here? Like,
Literally, like seriously, it's
I
like
thought you were taking it because when you had the camera out, I'm thinking, no, she's just taking the piss acting like it's hard. and
no,
shit.
it is. It is like, man, like, and now because I'm doing like a the New South Wales Sevens, it's like a Battle of Border
Okay.
season thing that we're doing. So
Yeah.
New South Wales Sevens versus Queensland Sevens. So like I've been going to work and then going to training, and I'm just like, straight from labouring all day from
Yeah.
like 7 to like 3:30, and then going to Sevens training. It's like,
Do you think that gives you sort of different sort of training though, like mentally? Like, would you say it makes you more mentally tough, like going through like labouring work throughout the day and then coming actually to training? Would you say it gives you a different sort of
it is.
toughness,
It
if
is
that makes
different.
sense?
It is different. And I've noticed that my pulling game, like with chins and stuff, has gotten a lot stronger.
Well, yeah.
So it's like all the lifting and stuff, like all the sandbags that I was saying, the 25 kilo sandbags. Definitely, yeah, I've gotten stronger.
Yeah.
And it was hard too because like during COVID, like lockdown as well, I wasn't able to really train as much
Yeah.
because I was too sore from labouring. So I'd try and train, but like it was just like my body just would not function.
Yeah.
So for 3 weeks, like I had to train properly.
Oh,
But
really?
prior to that, I was like killing it, like,
Yeah.
almost every day training. So then now that I'm back in Sevens in the team environment, like I'm doing both. So I'm like,
Yeah. But so you're not going to do any more inside extras like on your stories? Like I see you're not going to do any of
well,
that?
not at the moment because I'm with Sevens at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'm training with the Seven stuff. And then we've got Waratahs preseason next week. So we will actually be training together. So the New South Wales Sevens will be training with the Waratahs.
Yeah.
So it'll be, I won't really need to train extra.
Yeah.
We'll be training 3 days a week. And then, probably on a Tuesday I will train.
Yeah.
Either at Doonside or just at home.
Yeah.
'Cause I've
So
got some-
this is good though. You still keep moving, you still keep motivated and stuff like that. So like with the Sevens New South Wales, who's actually more better, Queensland or New South Wales Sevens?
Oh, New South Wales. It'd be wrong to say Reds, but anyways, nah.
But like, do you guys have competitions throughout the year, like New South Wales and all that, and Queensland, or is it just New South Wales Sevens will just take on like whatever like tournaments to come up their way, like against? Well,
It's actually a new thing. It's a new thing. Like this was the first year. Normally we have this thing called Aon Sevens, whereas it's like all like New South Wales, Adelaide, Tasmania.
okay.
So
you
Canberra.
guys should be dominating. Kind of thinking about it, like New South Wales, technically with the women's league, should be sort of dominating because you got more variety to pick on. From, if that makes sense.
Queensland's good too because they got like a program up there as well.
Oh, okay.
They have a program up there as well, so that's why like New South Wales and Queensland so dominant because they have programs. But yeah, so we start playing not long, like a couple of weeks.
You know, one thing I was just thinking about to myself too is like how much of an opportunity has rugby given you in the sense of traveling, like and experiences, like
Massive.
I love to hear those stories when you're at Vegas, Dubai, and stuff like that. But how would you sum that up, those world trips, if that makes sense? Because that wasn't actually part of your, I don't know, well, how would you say, goal in life to be a rugby player or be a professional athlete? But now that you are, like, it's also bringing like travel experiences too, not just with fitness or not just with sports, but it also is giving you a better appreciation about the world and how it works. So, so which one would you say has taught you a lot? Going over to Dubai, did it teach you anything new, or did you see a different perspective in life? If that makes sense.
Well, like different countries have like, I guess like different lifestyles.
Yeah.
Like Vegas, when we went to Vegas, we stayed on the old Vegas Strip, so we weren't on the main strip, but we did go and see it.
What's the distance between how far is it from?
A couple of minutes.
A
couple of minutes drive.
I
it's
thought
not
it was
far
like
at all.
30 minutes down the road or something.
No. It's literally it's just only a couple of minutes away. But like different countries with different culture experiences, and then like Dubai, like there's certain parts in Dubai that you can't even wear a singlet, like a singlet because it's so strict, like with like their culture over there. And then Dubai is just like this wealthy country that's just like so clean and just like it's crazy. Like their cars over there as well, like
police cars, Lamborghinis,
ridiculous.
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 To be a police officer over there, I guess.
Oh, geez, it's something like it's so different. And then you got like your like Japan, like when we go to Japan, like obviously like it's everything's Japanese, so you can't really understand anything. But like we normally have a person that like translates everything. So she comes around and takes us on tour and pretty much just So that's what happens. Every country that we go to, we have a liaison, like a person that pretty much takes us everywhere and tells us stuff and shows us history.
And I guess you guys are way more sensible than the men. Usually, like, you know, there's always reports about guys just doing silly things in certain places, but women are a bit more sensible.
We don't really get time to really. We normally get there. The first day we'll do like a stretch kind of day, relax, just like settle in. The second day we'll do training. It'll be training, and then we'll have one day before we play where it's like, all right, you can have half of the day to go and explore whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get time to go and explore, but it's like half a day.
Yeah, but you can't do anything silly because you got the game the next day.
Exactly. So they try and like say, you know, don't do too much because you want to stay off your feet. And then we normally have massages the next half of the day. So so we pretty much chill the day before we play, then we play 2 days in a row, and then we'll leave the next day.
So you guys actually get treated exactly the same way as like the professional men's team do. Like, you know, you're stretching, you're massaging, you're structuring, like you're training, your warm ups. Yeah, it's all getting the same.
The women's pretty much is the same, and like they're starting to really play together now, like at the same locations. Whereas before it was like we'd play probably at 2 locations, the same as the men. Whereas now it's like you've got Sydney Sevens, you've got Las Vegas Sevens, you've got you know, you've got all these other ones. The women's were supposed to play at Hong Kong Sevens, but then COVID kicked in. Yeah. And that's like one of the most craziest atmospheres.
I think it's very good for you guys, like playing before the men's or like whatever, because like in a sense you guys get more sort of eyes on the game, because usually if you guys are the curtain openers, more eyes will sort of come. Like you said, I think we'll talk about earlier, like half time you'll have a bigger crowd because they're getting ready for it. But it just, if it's entertaining, like people will watch. And having you guys, like now that you guys are sort of emerging, like you guys before the, like say before the men's sevens and stuff like that, I think it's a good thing.
With the women's sevens, they pretty much like they don't play before the men's, like they play together. So they play, like the girls' games will be on, then the boys will go the
Yeah,
boys
that's
game will
perfect.
be
Yeah,
over, the girls and the boys.
that's
So like
mad.
they kind of alternate.
Yeah, which is good.
It's
I think,
together, yeah.
I think if NRL had double headers, like say if you got Newcastle and Tigers,
Yeah.
and then the versing Knights and St George, like game after, I think if you had a women's game in between, like
Yeah, for sure.
I reckon that would be definitely something in the future they'll look forward to. Knowing them, they'll probably have that in the plans anyway. So
Yeah, they would, but I think it just comes down to like just money stuff, like
Yeah.
financial stuff, and yeah, it'll get there. Like it's definitely grown over the last
Yeah.
couple of years. Like even since I've been in the game, I've seen so much growth.
Yeah.
And I feel like because our Wallaroos we're not full time, but I feel like once I'm retired and the next couple of generations come through, like it'll eventuate to that.
But you got to thank people like you guys too, because you guys sort of paved the way and
Yeah.
sort of made it entertaining. Like if you look at, I think back in the 70s, 60s, NRL players were having full-time jobs and then all playing on the weekend. So
Yeah.
it's sort of the same transaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I remember, like my first couple of tours, like especially World Cup, like we had a girl come in and talk about how she used to have to pay for her own flight. She used to pay for her own camps. Like they used to get given like one shirt, one pair of shorts. Whereas
Shit.
now it's like
Now you guys getting paid for it to go overseas.
pay for it. So
and
it's
slowly.
thank you to them, and then it's like we're also trying to carry that on for the next future generations as well. So
because if the women these days say, "Oh fuck it, we don't want to play it," whatever, blah blah blah, it sort of slows down the process for the next future.
Yeah.
For the next generations to come up board.
Exactly.
So it definitely is a big thank you to you guys to sort of make it happen now, and also the ones beforehand. I mean, if it wasn't for back in the days of the NRL, all those immortals and all those great games and stuff in the 90s and going back to 80s, 70s, 60s, if they didn't sort of pave the way, NRL wouldn't be where it is at now. I think it's one of the best sports. I hate when NRL season's over. There's nothing fucking doing.
Nothing.
No, I don't watch
really
TV in general.
Yeah.
But like when the NRL's on, it's definitely entertaining and a lot of bets and a lot of sports bets. No, but I don't think you're allowed to bet on women's games. I never see it on the sports app.
No, I think they do.
I think they do.
Maybe
I just not paid attention to it or something.
I think they do. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure you can bet.
So what's your goals for next year? So if you make that World Cup team and say NRL come in knocking on your door, say look, we can offer you a contract, what would you do after the World Cup? Or would you say that right now just focus on rugby, try to make that World Up team, and then go after that, if that makes sense?
Yeah,
You have any ambitions to come back to league? Look at me trying to sell league to you. Who
are you?
That sounds
Nah, yeah, obviously like this next year ahead will be like focusing on World Cup.
Yeah.
But like the next couple of months will be like worrying about Waratah season.
Yeah.
And the sevens. So just for now, like taking one step at a time, just trying to lead into the season being strong, fit and fast and agile and strong.
Yeah.
But prior, like post World Cup, I'll probably just look to see how I feel. But I feel like I'll probably go to league for a bit.
Yeah. Panthers if they have a team. No.
Yeah,
No. Sounds
no.
So you obviously you watch league back when you're young, like or
yeah. Only because my dad goes to. He's a diehard Rabbitohs fan.
Rabbitohs fan. Oh.
Diehard, like you don't want to be in a room with him if the Rabbitohs are losing.
How did he take the walk? The
mate,
was he breaking TV?
Look, I'm not even lying to you. He had everyone in the house out of the house.
No way.
Yeah, this is how like he's.
He's a bit like me, and it'd be intense.
He's so intense. Like, and I'm telling you now, like when the Rabbitohs are losing, you don't want to be in the house. You do not want to be in the house. He is just something else. That fella.
I share his frustration with Penrith lose too. So I know what he's like.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. He literally had everyone out of the lounge room watching through the window. He's like, because like everyone just walks past all the time. He when it comes to his games, he's like, I'm watching my football, like, don't be in the way kind of thing.
I understand.
Oh, so yeah.
So
I've watched it from like a kid because of him.
Yeah.
And that's why I follow Rabbitohs, because of Dad.
Oh, nice. So who would your favourite player be? Greg Inglis?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Thurston? You watched a bit of him?
Yeah.
You don't like it, bro?
I do rate. I rate him as a player, but like I think because like I go for Rabbitohs, and then when Greg went to Rabbitohs and I was a fullback and he was a fullback, we kind of related. And then when I made an Indigenous All Stars team and he was, we both did community work together. So that's what they did. They linked everyone, like everyone that was in that position. You link up with them.
Yeah.
And you go out and do community work.
Oh wow!
And so we went out up in Queensland and did some community work together and.
He's a nice guy. Like,
oh man,
you know how many times
so
I've always wanted to take. I'm a fanboy. I'll be honest. If I see him, I'm like, man, straight fanboy. I don't care how I'm into it. Like, I remember seeing Sam Burgess, because I went to the dressing room for my cousin with South and stuff like that. But all I wanted to see was Craig Inglis, and he was
Yeah.
in. But I think he left early, so he was in his suit and stuff. But when he was walking out, and all the fans were coming in. I was like, oh, like I didn't want to
He's
be
a
that guy, but
legend.
I'm going to be that guy.
He's a
Like,
legend.
Hey, bro, can I take a picture?
He's honestly so cool. Like even just off the field, like
Yeah.
he's just so interactive with people, just so down to earth, just chilled,
Yeah.
laid back,
I don't
and funny.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't
funny.
look like a. He doesn't really look like he looks like he's actually a nice bloke. Like
He
the
is.
way he conducts himself. I don't
Yeah.
think he's ever been in trouble with like clubs or anything. I don't think he's ever been in trouble type thing.
Nah.
But yeah, he seems like a good guy. Like he seems like he carries himself well.
Yeah.
Like, even on the field. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine just running against him though. Like
Yeah, run it straight, bro.
Nah.
I'm kidding. That stuff though.
But did he ever play the Curry comp? Like, did he ever play in any?
Curry knockout. Yeah.
I don't want to love to just.
Yeah. He
rip into-
played. I know he played up in. I think it was in Dubbo.
Okay,
yeah.
so he has.
A couple of years ago, he played.
Well, was he even? Are they even allowed to? Like, because they're professionals type things, and
Yeah, they're allowed.
oh
Yeah,
wow,
they're allowed.
They'll rip it up, wouldn't they?
But it's like, I think because like when the Curry knockout is, it's the NRL same weekend as the NRL final. So if they're not in the final,
they can
pretty
play.
much they can play.
Wow.
But
What about
obviously it depends on.
your dad? Would have loved that 2014 grand final when
Oh,
he would have went off his
man.
head.
yeah, he was off his chops. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Far out. What a good team though.
yeah.
Sam Burgess,
Solid.
Burgess brothers, Inglis. Who else? Reynolds actually came through the ranks throughout that.
Pretty
time.
sharp. Yeah, around that time. Yeah.
Man. So yeah. Tom, what are we doing for time, Gary?
So we're sitting at 55 minutes.
55. Far out. 55. So actually, I haven't even. So you grew up in Doonside?
Yeah.
Doonside. You went to, and then we talked about earlier. You went to Hills
Hill Sports High.
Hills, not Westfields. That's different, eh?
No, they were like our little
Rival.
rivals. Yeah.
Yeah. And but you weren't even like playing rugby like professionally at the
No.
time. So you just went to school just for the sake of going to school. And
No,
that's-
I was doing athletics.
Oh, athletics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
So
bad.
I was doing athletics all through high school.
Yeah.
And then
What made you stop that?
just rugby.
Just rugby. Eh?
Yeah, it was rugby. Like I said, like when I finished high school, I was still doing outside training. Like
Yeah.
I was doing athletics training as well as like studying. And then that one rugby game.
Did you have any ambitions to be in the Olympics for athletics?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
Kathy
that's where
Freeman.
that's where it actually stands
Yeah,
from, mate.
Kathy Freeman.
Catherine
yeah.
Freeman. Yeah, I actually saw her live once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I was in primary school. I was in primary school. We had a trip to. I think she was doing like not a warm up run, but I think qualifying for the Olympics in 2000.
Yeah.
So the 2000 Olympics, and yeah, so I saw her, and like I was just like
Oh.
in real life, I actually saw her run, and she just made it look easy. Like,
Mm,
man, Aboriginal people make it look easy, man. When it comes to athletics, they're just like
yeah.
not in phase. Like everyone was stretching, and she was just doing her
That'd
thing,
have
and I
been
was just
cool.
like, far out. And then like she was coming around touching everyone. I just wanted to touch her. Just touch
Yeah.
her. So she was running around and shaking my hand. I was like, no, yeah, that's not shaking. No. But yeah, she was shaking everyone's hand because we had a school carnival.
Yeah.
So I remember in primary school, she was there. And everyone, that was the big thing. I don't even remember all the people who were right next to her. It was all about Kathy Freeman. And
Yeah.
I saw her do a 400, I think. It was 400, the
Yeah.
whole thing. So she ran that and she just blitzed everyone. But I think that was just a qualifying for the Olympics because we didn't go to the Olympics, but it was just like a sort of a
just
heat type thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, she just carved it up. Man.
That's
She
so
did it
cool.
easy.
that's cool.
So yeah. But then I saw her a couple of years later doing some community work on TV. She put on
Yeah.
a weight. I was like,
Yeah,
don't mean skinny now. I think she's a mother now and stuff like that. But yeah, then I saw her on like I think she was doing some community work on the news and stuff. And she was like, oh, she was looking different than when she was as an
Yeah.
athlete. So I think that's all of us anyway. Eventually, so
yeah,
one year athlete and the next we just different. No, but yeah, but time. So it's better now. Since we've gone through. What did I say? I appreciate you coming in. Even when I messaged you, you got straight back to me. So much appreciated. But I definitely want to hear about your World Cup tour once you make a team, and then definitely come back on and we can definitely have more to chat about it. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate it.
All good.
You're good, bro. Thanks for that.
That was good.
That was good. Oh.